Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's class. My name is Birgit Koopsen, and I'm a brand ambassador for Gelli Arts. And I want to thank Michaels for giving us the opportunity to present this class to you. So I'm in the Netherlands, and it's always fun to know where you're from. So please, if you want to, let me know in the chat where you're from. Today we're going to make books, and to do so we will first create some prints and then bind them together into a book, and I'm going to show you step by step how to make those books. And I see a lot of countries. I see Israel, Canada, the US, of course, the Netherlands, and many more. Welcome. Nice to have you here. So yeah, let's turn the camera around and start this class. So today I will be working on the 8x10 gel printing plate, and I'm going to take it out of the packaging. And you will see, oh, I'm sorry about that. You will see that my plate is stored between two sheets of copier paper in the original case that it came in. So when you buy your jelly plate, it will be between two acetate sheets, and once you've removed them, you will not want to use them again anymore, because when you store your plate between acetate sheets, then you will be likely to get air bubbles between the plate and the acetate sheet, and the pressure of the air might create
Hi everyone. Looks like we are a little frozen at the moment. Hopefully we will reconnect soon. Thank you for your patience. Just again, we're having a little connection issue. We will be a few moments. Hopefully we can reconnect shortly. Thanks so much for your patience, everyone. Yes, so sorry that you're only seeing me at the moment. We are waiting for our instructor to join us. It looks like there may have been some disconnection. Hopefully she will be back soon. Thank you so much for your patience. Hey everyone, for those that are just joining us, we have been disconnected from our instructor and we're just waiting for her to rejoin. Thank you so much for your patience here.
Okay, I hope I'm really back now. Can somebody let me know if I'm back?
Hi, we hear you. We're so happy that you're back.
I have no idea what happened. You were
No.
suddenly my screen froze and I didn't see my hands moving anymore, and then I was totally disconnected. I'm very sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you so much for rejoining. All
Yeah,
right,
of
I'll let you
course.
take it away.
I hope people are still here. Could you also let me in on my other device again?
Yes, do that
Okay.
right now. Thanks so much.
Okay. So I was talking about the gel plate between the acetate sheets. And did you still hear me telling about not storing the jelly plate between the acetate sheets, or was I already disconnected then?
That's when you were disconnected. So I think you have to repeat that.
Okay, so as you could see, when I took my plate out of the original case, you could see that it was stored between two sheets of copier paper. And that's because when you store it between the acetate sheets, you might end up with air bubbles between the acetate and the gel plate, and that might cause pressure, which will give you lines in your plate that you will see in your prints. So to avoid that, it's better to store your plate between copier paper. You can always also see that my plate is not clean. There is leftover paint on the plate. I usually, unless it's like really bad, I don't clean my plate between printing sessions, because I really like a little bit of a distressed look. Like, I don't like my prints to be too clean. And when you start with a clean plate, the first couple of prints will be like really clean. And so I just leave any leftover paints on the plate and they will pull in the next print and then create a little bit of a distressed look or add a little bit of color or texture. So that's why I leave my paint on. But if you really would like to clean your plates, then you can use a baby wipe or some baby oil to clean the plate. So that's for this. And now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to show you how to create little books out of your prints. One of the most heard questions is, what do you do with all your jelly prints? So there are many things that you can do, but one of them is making books. And I like to make books like these because I like to art journal, and I don't really like it when my journal is like completely empty with a lot of white sheets. So I use random gel prints, and they don't really have to be very like art pieces on themselves. They can be quite simple, just some texture and some color. And then I bind them together, and you can make your own journals that already have backgrounds in them. So then you can just randomly open your journal and find a page that appeals to you in that very moment that you want to create, and then you can just work on the background. So of course, when you make books like this, the way I will show you today, you need all the pages to be the same size. And as long as your paper is the same size, you can make the books any size you want. So this book, for instance, was made with A5 paper, which is a specific size in the Netherlands. And if I use only A5 paper for all my prints and I fold my pages, I will end up with an A6 book. And today I will be printing on the Recollections cardstock paper, and it is 5.5 by 7.5 inches. And if I print on that and I fold my pages afterwards, then my book will be half that size. So it will still be 5.5 high, but it will be like 3.8 or something inches. I'm not very good in calculating in inches, but you get the idea, right? And if you make the paper smaller, you can make like a tiny book. And if you want to make a square, you always have to make sure that the width of your paper is double the height. So if it's like 4 inches high, then it needs to be 8 inches wide to create a square book. So here I have a variety of books. I have many, many more of them, just to show you that you can use as many pages as you want to and make thin books or very thick books. But now I'm first going to make some prints. I'm just going to turn my plate this way. So this is the 8 by 10 inch plate, and I'm going to use some masking tape to stick my paper to my surface, so the plate will stay in the same position and not move around while I'm printing. So it's the cardstock paper that I'm going to be using, and it's a little bit thicker than regular copier paper, and that's really nice because you want a sturdy book, but it doesn't have to be like a really heavy paper because we will be gluing the back sides or the back side of the paper against each other like this. So your pages will actually be double as thick as one sheet of paper is. But that will all make sense once I start building the book. For now, I'm going to make some random prints, and I'm going to start by adding some color to the plate. And let's do a couple of colors. Let's see. So here I'm using Liquitex Basic, which is really nice paint for this kind of gel printing. And I'm also using Winsor & Newton, just the normal acrylic paint. So that's the two types of paints that I will be using today. And so today I will only be using acrylic paint. So I'm going to roll out my paint. And first I'm just going to, in my first layer, I'm just going to add some color to my paper and not even any texture or anything yet. I just want some nice colors. So you can see that my layer of paint is very thin because I want to build up layers, and I don't want really thick layers. I want to build up and see new colors, or the first colors shining through second layers, and so it's better to use a little bit thinner layers. Also, your prints will be much nicer when you use thinner layers, because if you use a lot of paint, when you lift up your paper, you will kind of get threads in your paint, which will create a V-shape texture in your prints, which is something that I really don't like. As you can see, I'm using my brayer to push the paper down. I'm not going to use, you will not see the back side of the paper once the book is made. So it doesn't really matter what happens on this side of the paper. So I don't really need to put clean paper sheet on top to do the rubbing. I can just use my brayer. And as you can see in this print, and I just have to remove this one before it sticks to the plate. As you can see, the print picked up the leftover paint from the plate. So even though I only added some colors on my plate before making this print and not adding any stamps or stencils or whatever to create texture, I do have a textured print with some interest that would not have been there if I had been working on a clean plate. And here on this side, I have an empty part because my plate obviously wasn't big enough for 2 sheets, but that's okay because I will be building up layers on my prints. So in the next round or the round after, I will just use this one again and then fill this area. But first I'm going to do 2 other ones with different colors. I just want some backgrounds that I can continue working on and have a couple ready to grab, because sometimes I just roll out paint on my plate and I just colors that I like and texture that I like, and then I'm like, okay, and where do I want to print it on? And then if I just have a collection ready, I can just choose 1 or 2 that I think will actually look great with the new layer on top. So I always like to have some backgrounds ready before I start working on second layers. And as you can see, I now put the entire sheet on the plate on this side, and there was this line somewhere here that was left on the plate because it was between these 2 sheets, and it will probably now show up in this print, which it does, and look how pretty that is. I like it when things like that happen. That's so much better than having a print that's only pink and orange and yellow. You have all these little bits of green and blue here that were left on the plate. So that's the reason that I don't clean my plate. And here also, this edge here, very nice. So let's do 1 more background and then let's do some second layers. Let's take some pink. And you can also see that the way I Brayer roll out my paint is also very random. So I get some mixing of colors, but not like mixing the colors completely. Because if I would continue brayering, I would just end up with one new color. And that's not what I want. I want this like shades and lighter areas with the colors that I'm mixing. So I don't want to end up with a new solid color. So don't brayer too long to get some interesting shades of color in there. And not very obviously because the color is the new color was kind of opaque, but you can still see a little bit of the yellow that was in from my previous print. So now I'm going to take out some tools that I can use to create texture, and I have some random stuff here like cardboard, a handmade texture plate made from foam, self-adhesive foam. And I did a Zoom class for Michael's a while ago about making these. So you can find that on the Michael's website or on the Gelli Arts YouTube channel if you are interested in making these. I have some pill strips, medicine strips that I can use. And of course some bubble wrap, and this is like a really big one that makes big circles, really nice, but also like a random normal bubble wrap. And then I have, and I'm not sure if I will use everything today, but I have like Lego, which creates lovely dots, and Punchinella. And there are many, many more things that you can just look around in your home and you will find them. And tools to create texture on the gel plate, which is really fun. So I'm going to go back to the color that I used in my first print. And I'm going to add a darker one. And maybe I can also add a little bit of white, because that will totally change the intensity of the blues. So I don't want the white to be everywhere, and I have a little bit too much blue on here. So I'm going to brayer off excess paint. And now I'm going to add the white. And I'm going to kind of move it into the blue from the bottom. But not completely continue brayering, so it is creating a totally new solid color, but more like a gradient of color almost. And let me take some of that cardboard. So this is from packaging material where I removed the top layer on one side, and then this is what you get, and you can totally remove it and get a really clean, almost like honeycomb kind of texture. But I like to leave some of the cardboard on it, so you get this like more distressed areas. So I'm just going to push it in here. And what the cardboard is actually doing is removing paint from the plate. As you can see, paint is now on the cardboard and removed from the plate. And in the areas where it's removed from the plate, you create that texture. And now I'm just going to place two of my prints, two of my previous made prints on top of this. And what I really like about gel printing is that it's so random and unpredictable that I actually really have no idea how these prints will look. It's always a surprise, but how pretty is that? So I don't know if the light is okay, but you can see that here is again this little red stripe from my previous print. And in the areas where I took away paint from the plate using my cardboard, you can see the color that was originally there in the first print, which is the yellow. And on this side, of course, it is pink. And I think that's quite a pretty page. So this one for me would be good enough to go in my art journal. There would be enough on there. It doesn't need an extra layer at this moment. This would be a really nice background for me to work on, so I can put this one aside. For this one, I actually think that I might want to do something here. Not sure what yet, but let's see. And you can see on my plate again that there is some leftovers, and this will probably show up in my next print, which I'm already looking forward to see how that kind of shows up in my next print. So next color. What color am I going to use? Any suggestions? No. Silver. I think that's the one color that I don't have here. White. Okay, white I can do. And just white, or do
somebody suggested purple?
Purple is really not my favorite color, but I do have purple, brilliant purple. So there are not a lot of there are basically no colors that I don't like at all. I kind of like all colors, but purple is my least favorite color. For I don't know why. A couple of years ago it would be green, and now I really love green. So that changes, funny enough. Does any of you have that too, that you have a favorite color for a while but that it changes, that sometimes you start to like a color that you didn't like before? I think a lot of people like blue. That's a favorite color of a lot of people. So here is a hand cut stencil that I made from an acetate sheet, and because it's acetate, you can use it like forever, again and again and again. And you know what? You got that acetate sheet in your gel plate packaging, and you cannot use it to store your gel plate, so why not use it to create stencils? I'm all about reusing stuff. So okay, not sure about this, but let's do the purple on the green and blue and see what happens. And I really have not thought about this, about what I wanted to do for layering for the class. I like to just improvise. So it's not that I actually thought about how this would turn out. And you know what? This, although I kind of like the combination of the green and the purple, if I had thought, well, I would have known that there would be no color here. And now this is white. So if I had thought a little bit longer, I would have put it the other way around. But that's okay. I can work with that in my journal. Maybe I'm happy later that this area is still white, and I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm now going to remove this stencil, and with removing the stencil, I will also remove some of the paint that was underneath. So let's see what happens when I put this one on top of this. I'm not sure if there was enough paint removed, but you know what? You can always add another layer. So if you have a layer that you don't like, and I actually do like this. That's fun. That's not what I expected to be. And that's the fun part about gel printing, that sometimes you get a really nice surprise, something that you didn't expect at all. I love that. So I got two prints that I actually like with purple. I should listen to my students more often. Okay, there's still some paint on the plate that I don't want to waste. So I'm just going to print that on, let's do it on the side. Let's see. Yeah. Fun. And I'm just going to see what else I can pick up. There might be still a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe I can even. So I have now this stencil on top here with the wet side up. So there's wet paint on this side of the stencil. There's also still some paint on the gel plate. So let's see what happens. And this is something that I would also recommend when you are just starting with gel printing. Just see what happens. Just put some paint somewhere and put your paper on top and just see what happens. So what happened here is that the stencil actually stuck to the paper, and when I removed it, it took away some of the yellow paint that was underneath. But that's also something interesting. And the funny thing is that this little blue spot here that I was looking forward to picking up is still on the plate. And so I really want to pick that one up, and let's put another color on top, a little bit of yellow, a tiny little bit. And so if you want to pick up dried paint from your plate, you really need a very thin layer of paint, because otherwise your paper is only going to pick up the top layer of the paint and not the dried paint that is underneath. So I put a really thin layer of yellow paint now on top of that blue spot. And now let's just see if it was thin enough to actually pick up that dried paint. And it does not, which means that I used too much paint still. That's too bad. I want that little spot. It's not entirely coming up. Okay, so I made a couple of prints now, and I could do this for hours. I could sit a whole afternoon or a whole evening and create a ton of these prints, and then turn them into little books. And but I don't have that much time today. So if I want to show you how to create the book, I really have to get on it. So I'm just putting aside my
Birgit?
Yes.
Somebody asked, do you clean your brayer in between paint colors?
Yeah, you don't see it because it's on the side of my table, but here I have this little pile of cleanup paper. So what I do whenever I rolled out paper on my gel plate, I roll off all the excess paint from my brayer on the paper. So there's no wet paint left on the brayer if I or when I add a new color to my plate. So this is the only way that I clean my brayer during my gel printing session. And if I after gel printing I want to clean it, at some point there will be layers of paint piled up all around your brayer, and if you really want to clean it, then you can soak it in water with a washing detergent that has enzymes, like we have in Europe. We have Biotex, but I think the best way to do it in the US is use Murphy's oil, and then you can just the paint will just fall off. That's not the right word to say it, but your brayer will turn completely clean when you use that, and then you can use it again. So that's with acrylic paint. Sometimes you have you use a product on your plate that is, for instance, water soluble, and then you have to clean your brayer, like really clean your brayer in between, because the ink, for instance, like stamping ink on your brayer, will reactivate when you add your brayer to your plate with your new ink, and you will always get a messy colors. So then you need like a wet cloth or a baby wipe and clean your brayer in between. But with acrylic paint, just rolling it off on the scrap paper is enough. And then what I do is when this one is wet, for instance, and I go to the next one and then to the next one, and then in my next printing session, I use the same sheets again until they are like full with colors and textures that I like. And then I use these papers too as backgrounds for my art journal, or as collage paper, or to stamp on or whatever. So as you can see, I'm using my papers until they are pretty enough to use in my art. So I don't throw away a lot of paper. I hardly throw away any paper, actually. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold all these pages in half. And of course, if you have a scoring board, you can use that. But yeah, I use this trick where I put this corner here between my thumb and my finger, so it gets in exactly the same position as the other edge there, and then I can really quick fold a lot of pages. But that is something that you have to practice. But then once you can do it this way, you can do it really quick. And then all of them should be exactly the same size. So this is going to be a very thin book, but it's of course only to show you. And I can always add more pages if I want to. So I'm just very randomly going to glue them together. I have to set one aside. That's going to be the cover. So I think I really like these colors. So I think this is going to be my cover. Yeah, I think this will be a nice color. So I'm going to put that one aside. And now I'm just going to glue them together back to back. And I use a tape runner to do that. And even though it takes quite some tape, I also try to do it with a fluid adhesive like a tacky glue or even a gel medium. But I don't like how my paper starts to buckle when you use a fluid adhesive. So I prefer to use a tape runner, and I'm just going to add some tape around the edges like this. And then to get the pages really nice lined up, I'm going to take the first one and put it upright like this. Not like this, but like this, upright. And then the next one I'm going to put in front, and then it wiggle between my fingers until it's in the same position. So I know for sure when they are on a flat surface that they will, the height will be the same evenly. So now I can just press them together. And then I have the first pages of my book. And the first couple are the hardest, because when you have only a couple of pages and you want to keep them upright, they are, it's not very sturdy. So it is a bit, yeah, you have to practice a little bit. And also my pages are still not like completely dry, which makes them also feel a bit less sturdy, but that's okay. And I'll just keep doing this. So I'm just going to add adhesive to the next one. Put this upright again, and put the next one in front of it, like this. Get it in the same position. And then glue them together, and another page. So you can keep doing this with as many pages as you like. There might be that you need a different way to create the spine or cover the spine, because if your book gets really thick, you cannot cover the spine with, for instance, duct tape, what I will be using today, because it's just not wide enough. Oh. You need to concentrate a little bit on this. And of course, I'm too chatty right now to really concentrate. And the adhesive is quite strong, so that will be okay. And another page. So you can, oh, I have only one more, so I will just do that real quick. Then we have at least something that looks a little bit like a book.
Okay, so Birgit, somebody asked, have you tried printing on both sides of a single page and not taping them together to create a thinner page book?
Yeah, of course, I have made books where I printed on both sides, but you can't do it with this binding technique. So it depends on what binding technique you want to use to bind your book. I have printed on, I have made double-sided prints, and then using a thread and a needle to sew together the book. But if you want to make a little block book, like the books I just showed before, with a spine like this, then you need to glue them back to back because otherwise you will just have a very different book.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
They also asked what tape runner do you have there?
Okay, so this is a Tombow, a maxi power tape. So it is a tape adhesive runner, and it can actually, the Tombow is refillable. So you can actually open, I don't know really right now how to do it, but you can open it and then you can refill it. So, and this is a very strong tape. And, you know, it is okay to have only adhesive around the edges. And you don't really have to worry about wet products that you're going to use in the book soaking through the paper, because you already have these layers of acrylic paint. So basically, this is already sealed, so the paper is already sealed, so it will not, new products on top of this will not soak through the paper, so it's okay that it is not like completely glued together. Yeah, so once you have your book, as many pages as you like, you can create the spine, and there are two ways or two orders that you can do it. The first one is that you put the cover on the front and the back before you add the tape, and then you get this, like, you see this line of tape on the front of your cover. Or you can put the tape on first and then apply your cover on top, and then you don't see any of the tape. It looks like you see the tape here because the paper is actually white, but maybe this one is better. So your cover goes all the way to the edge of the spine. And it depends a little bit on what you use to cover the spine. So for this book, for instance, I used a self-adhesive fabric, which is quite flexible. So when you apply it to the spine, you might get this a little bit wonky. It will not be like a really nice straight line. And if you use, for instance, duct tape, which is not flexible at all, you get a really nice straight line. So then you can do the tape on top if you like, or when you use bookbinders tape, something like that. So that depends on what you use and what you like also, of course. So once you've done this, you need to cut your the sheet that you want to use for your cover. You have to cut it in the middle. And of course, I don't have a paper cutter here right now, so I'm just going to use my scissors. Might not be perfect, but that's okay. So here are my covers. One goes on the front and one goes on the back. And I'm going to put the tape on first, because this is a really thin book and the tape will go quite far into the front and the back, and I don't like that when it's very wide. So I'm going to do the tape first, and I'm just going to roll it out. So this is duct tape, and you can get it in many different colors and even with prints and stuff, which is fun. Now you take your book with the spine down, so you can look into the open pages, and you just place it somewhat in the middle of the tape, and then you cut the tape. Maybe I should have done that before. I could have done that before. Like this. Yeah. And now I can just fold it over. So now my spine is covered. And I can use my scissors if it's a little bit too long. So now my spine is covered, and I can use my tape runner to glue my my cover on the front. I could also cut off a little strip here so that my cover would look like this. So I get this like little bit of color that you can still see from the duct tape. So if you have, if you want to make like a really, really thick book, like for instance this one, then you cannot use the duct tape because it's just not wide enough, as you can see. So for this, you could use just like a canvas sheet and, for instance, tacky glue or a gel medium and glue the canvas sheet around the spine, or sticky back canvas or something like that, self-adhesive fabric. Here I used a canvas sheet that I actually also gel printed on, so it is it really fits the cover. But you can also, I think, buy canvas sheets in different colors. But also, yeah, so you could also use, for instance, an ink, permanent ink, like archival or something like that, or stays on, and stamp on the duct tape in black, just black, or in color, and create texture or images on the duct tape, so that that it fits with the covers, just something different instead of using a plain color. So yeah, you can make them as thick as you want. Another tip for you is if you make a really thick one, to create like a real cover, because of course this cover is going to be the same thickness as the pages are. That's with all of these books. The cover page is exactly the same thickness as all the pages inside, but that's okay because it's quite sturdy. But if you make a really thick book, or if you want to have like a real cover that is a little bit thicker than the pages inside, then you could just take a cardboard box and cut out a sheet of cardboard that has the same size as your book, and then before gluing your cover on top, you glue the cardboard. So you glue the cardboard on here, and then you glue the cover on top. That's what I did here, and you can see it. If I keep it like this, you can see that it's just from a cardboard box. But this way I created some really sturdy, a really sturdy cover for my book. So yeah, I think this is it. Are there any more questions that I need to
No, I don't think there are any other questions. I don't see any.
There are no. Okay. Well, then I think this is this part for today. I want to show you real quick the upcoming class. So I have here, so there is going to be, my next class will be October 12th, which is in 2 weeks. That's really quick. So I will be making printing with leaves and stamping ink. So instead of acrylic paint, I'm going to use stamping ink to create prints like this with real leaves that I will get from my garden. So that's my next class. Then there will be a class on November 5th, also by me, which is about holiday cards, card making. And on November 9th, Tanya Ahmed will be here also making cards. So we hope to see you again then. And yeah, I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.